traditional yoga and modern yoga. Yoga is the control of the modification of the mind field. Then the seer abides in itself, resting in its own true nature, which is called self-realization. When your intellect, previously confused by a variety of teachings, remains firm and unmoved in samadhi, then you will attain yoga. In ancient times, Hatha Yoga was practiced for many years as a preparation for higher states of consciousness. Now, however, the real purpose of this great science is being altogether forgotten. The Hatha Yoga practices, which were designed by rishis and sages of old for the evolution of mankind, are now being understood and utilized in a very limited sense. The main objective of Hatha Yoga is to create an absolute balance of the interacting activities and processes of the physical body, mind, and energy. When this balance is created, the impulses awaken the central force, which is responsible for evolution of human consciousness. If Hatha Yoga is not used for this purpose, its true objective is lost. He who sees inaction in action, and who sees action in inaction, he is the one endowed with wisdom among human beings. He is joined in yoga, a performer of complete action. The word yoga is much misunderstood these days. Yoga has often been reduced to the status of fad. Many false and incomplete teachings have been propagated in its name, and one small aspect of yoga is often taken to be all of yoga. For instance, many people in the West think it is physical and beauty cult, while others think it is a religion. All this has obscured the real meaning of yoga. There is no purifier in the world equal to knowledge. One who is fully accomplished in yoga finds that knowledge in the self is in due time. Yoga means union. Although many people think this term refers to union between body and mind, or body, mind and spirit, the traditional acceptance is the union between Jivatman and Paramatman, that is, between one's individual consciousness and the universal consciousness. Therefore, yoga refers to a certain state of consciousness as well as to methods that help one reach that goal or state of union with the divine. Joined in yoga, abandoning the fruits of action, one attains the peace of those who have conviction. One not joined in yoga, acting out of desire and attached to fruits, becomes bound. He is self-satiated by knowledge and realization of Absolute. Having conquered the senses, joined in yoga, he is called a yogi, beholding a lump of clay, stone, or nugget of gold alike. There is no yoga for one who eats much or who eats nothing at all, for one who is inclined to excessive sleep or one who awakens altogether. O Arjuna, he whose food and enjoyment are balanced, whose movements in action are balanced, whose sleeping and waking are balanced, his yoga becomes the eliminator of sorrows. Closing all the doors of the body and retaining the mind in the heart, placing the prana in the crown of the head, established in the concentration of yoga, Om. This is Brahman consisting of single, indestructible syllable. He who enunciating it and contemplating it goes forth, abandoning his body, he reaches the supreme state. Yoga means union of the little ego self with the divine self, the infinite spirit. Most people in the West, and also many in India, confused yoga with Hatha Yoga, the system of bodily postures. But yoga is primarily spiritual discipline. Devotees who are bent on finding the divine give less importance to the yoga postures, nor is it strictly necessary that they practice them. The postures, asanas, for yoga meditation should be steady, stable, and comfortable. And this is the third of 8 limbs of yoga. Through the practice of the different limbs or steps of yoga, whereby impurities are eliminated, there arises an illumination that culminates in discriminative wisdom or enlightenment. Yoga is not mere acrobatics. Some people suppose that yoga is primarily concerned with the manipulation of the body into various positions which are demonstrated in the textbooks of yoga. These techniques are correctly employed in one distinct type of yoga practice, but they do not form an integral part of the most essential type. Physical postures serve at best as an auxiliary or a minor form of yoga. Yoga has become the health and fitness system of choice. This is odd because it is the mind, not the body, that is the main target of all genuine yoga practices. To regard yoga primarily as a set of practices for increasing strength and flexibility while calming the nervous system is to mistake husk for the kernel.